Hi, I'm Tim. Join me in this video. We'll discuss how state and local governments are increasingly passing laws restricting drone and to an extent RC model airplane flying and how this is going to all impact us going into the future. It is a problem. Let's get to it. This video is being filmed in May of 2025. State and local governments are more and more passing laws that affect directly how drones are operated to an extent RC model airplanes. Now, this is an increasing problem because it's difficult to keep track of all these laws and regulations, how they're going to impact us. There's no turnkey solution like we have pretty much with FAA regulations with the Before You Fly app. We'll discuss all this through the video. So this video is going to give you some real-world examples of what is happening, in this case, in the state of Ohio and Florida with drone regulations. I'll discuss some possible ways to deal with this, and just so we stay out of trouble flying our drones. As a reminder, if you'd like to jump ahead, there are chapters in the timeline below. You might be thinking to yourself, well, I thought the FAA controlled all the airspace in the United States. Why are we having this problem with state and local governments restricting drone operations? You are correct on the FAA. Recall the FAA was established on August 23rd, 1958. It wasn't that long ago. At the time, there were more and more aircraft flying in the U.S. in the airspace. They were larger aircraft. They were going faster. The military was flying a lot of jets at this time. The Boeing 707 was entering commercial service, and somebody had to keep track and regulate all that's going on with this increase in traffic, speed, size, and so forth. So the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, was set up. And the FAA had a pretty big remit in this act of Congress because the FAA controls everything that flies in the National Airspace System, to include military aircraft, commercial, general aviation, today model aircraft and drones. And so the FAA, by and large, does a pretty good job understanding the airspace system, setting limits, controls. And this is because the airplanes go between states, and what the government is trying to avoid is each state putting a separate rule on airline flights, for example. They don't want California having a rule for crew rest or number of takeoffs and landings in a quarter, and that differ from New York. It just would lead to chaos. So the FAA was set up to administer the airspace in the United States. Thus, you might be thinking, if the FAA is controlling airspace, why are we having state and local governments being involved now? Why was this not a problem in the past? We've been flying fixed-wing, to an extent helicopters, radio-controlled model airplanes since the mid-1950s. And we have never intersected with the FAA really because the RC model airplanes, by their nature, modelers would see them, you had to actually fly them, they were loud, they needed runways for takeoffs and landings. We tended to do a lot of our flying in clubs. It would be in uncontrolled airspace. We just stayed out of the way of the public and the FAA by being in uncontrolled airspace. With the advent of drones, though, that has completely changed. As we all know, those of you who fly drones, you can go to a Best Buy, purchase a drone with minimal training, you can charge the batteries, and you are flying. You can fly. You don't need a club location. You don't need a runway. You can fly from your driveway. And more importantly, the drones have cameras, and they're very good cameras. The videos that drones take are excellent. So now, for the first time, models, in this case drones, are being impacting the general public because the public can see the drones, they can hear the drones. There are privacy issues, and just drones are in a lot of places. And because of the complaints of the public, because the drones are there in public living spaces, beaches, parks, private property, and so forth, state and local governments are getting into the role of regulating these systems. And this is still an evolving body of law. It is going to be tested in the courts. We don't know how far it can go or not. But one of the things that is happening is to allow these regulations to happen is these state laws don't control airspace. That belongs to the FAA. Rather, they control the ground. So what will happen is they prohibit takeoffs and landings in, say, a local park. Well, if you can't take off and land, you're not going to fly. Again, more to follow as this develops. Let's take a look at two real-world examples. One where the law is passed recently in Ohio, another bill in the state of Florida that is pending, but it could go into effect this summer. Let's start with Ohio. So this is Ohio Bill 77. The title is, it's a statewide drone restrictions, and this is now in effect. It was signed into law by Governor DeWine in January of 2025 and became effective on April 9th, 2025. If you want to look at it, it's Ohio House Bill 77. So the highlights of this bill: the law bans reckless drone flights that endanger people or property and prohibits interference with law enforcement, fire, or emergency medical services. The law also criminalizes using drones to photograph, record, or loiter over, quote, critical facilities such as hospitals, courthouses, and military installations with criminal intent. Moreover, it lets local authorities pass laws. So local authorities, municipalities, counties, and park districts are empowered to create their own drone ordinances for public properties. Violations can result in fines up to $500 and/or 6 months in jail. Now, just looking at this, what's a reckless drone flight? This is a pretty broadly worded statement, law. We'll see what happens as time goes on, but see, this is in effect right now in Ohio. Going over to Florida, there's a Florida Senate Bill 700. It's titled Protecting Agriculture and Private Lands. It's passed both houses in Florida in April of 2025. We're waiting for Governor DeSantis' signature. If the governor signs it, it will take effect on July 1st, 2025. So the highlights, there's agricultural land restrictions. The bill makes it illegal to operate a drone on agricultural land without the owner's consent, or to use a drone in a way that disturbs crops or livestock. It prohibits drones on private property, state wildlife lands, or shooting ranges with intent to harass. The penalties are: first offenses are second-degree misdemeanors, repeat are first-degree misdemeanors. So that is what's going on in those two states. And it illustrates a nationwide trend of these states getting more and more involved and taking an active role in unmanned aircraft. These measures do address real concerns. Citizens have a reason oftentimes to complain about drone activities, but there's going to be a lot of challenges for commercial operators, hobbyists such as ourselves, and the larger drone ecosystem, and other states are going to for sure follow suit. We'll just have to figure out how best to deal with it. Thus this video. So what can we do about these laws right now? As I mentioned, we'll take a quick look at the Before You Fly app. The Before You Fly program is a quite innovative program. The FAA essentially opens up its database of all the airspace to private software developers. There's now a total of 5 apps that are completely free. You can download to your smartphone with a very simple user interface. It's just a green, go fly, red, don't fly, looking at airspace issues, controlled airspace, uncontrolled, prohibited areas, TFRs, and things like that. However, the Before You Fly program, the whole FAA system of airspace control, they do not plug into the local, state, and local governments what their restrictions are. They just don't know what they are. There's a ton, and there's a lot of these restrictions. So the two things I can recommend for, well, first of all, always use Before You Fly, Before You Fly. That takes care of the FAA. For the state and local restrictions, the two approaches I'd recommend now is you literally do a Google search, drone flying in the state of Florida, a local town or whatever. That will give you some information. And also, if you're going to a specific area, you can ask one of the people at that area, park ranger, whatever, tell them what you want to do, see if you can work something out for that drone flight. So in line with that drone search, let's take a look at 2 websites. One is from the Pilot Institute. As drone flying is becoming more and more incorporated with hobbyists and professional flyers, there's some very good websites and companies that do an excellent job of understanding these regulations and teaching. So the Pilot Institution has actually set up a wiki of flying in Florida, what you need to be concerned of. We'll take a look at that here in a second. The other thing we'll take a look at is a handout publication from the Florida Department of Transportation about drone flying in Florida. It's clear the persons or the groups that created this handout are not drone pilots. There's a lot of cut and paste from the FAA's website, and there's just some plain wrong information. For example, in the Florida Keys, certain sections, they want you to fly above 2,000 feet. That's understandable, so you don't bother people in this national park with boats or whatever. However, drones can't fly above 400 feet, so how could you fly over this park at 2,000 feet. So let's take a look at both of those, and I'll give some commentary. This is a page from the Pilot Institute, super useful, on drone laws in Florida 2023. It's a wiki. They touch upon the federal drone laws. There's a Florida Drone Pilot Facebook group, which I think is a great idea. Florida state drone laws, and then city and county drone laws on the right. So you can see on the left, we can take a look at one of the bills from the Florida Senate, and there's all the language if you want to read what's going on in that. Going back to the site again, we can go down. There's more of the Florida laws, the city of Miami. And notice the city of Orlando, the regulation has since been repealed, and then it lists some other things that are restricted. Again, it's going to be a real challenge keeping up with all this stuff as more and more states get involved in these drone regulation activities. This is a handout from the Florida Department of Transportation on unmanned aircraft systems. It's for somebody who is brand new to drones, so it's probably a pretty good idea to start. There's an overview of what UASs are, your role as a pilot. They bring in pretty quickly local law enforcement responsibility, community responsibility, and so forth. It then goes on to discuss what type of user you are, recreational or a Part 107, registering your drone with the FAA, public safety, educational users. Again, a good overview of some user guidelines for Part 107, then right into state and local regulations for unmanned aircraft, searches and seizures using your drone, and so forth. Now we discuss local codes that are governing your drone flights, some points of consideration, and state laws allow for the use of certain UAS technology and so forth. And you know before you fly, it's a great program. The FAA should always use that to ensure you're in proper airspace. Thank you for tuning into this video. As we fly our drones to extend our RC model aircraft, state and local governments are getting more and more involved in our activities. It's going to be a crazy patchwork of regulations. There's going to be disconnects of what the federal government allows. It's going to be hard to keep up with this because I don't see any practical way to have a common national database of all this stuff. It's just going to be Facebook groups, wikis, internet searches, and trying to stay out of trouble. So that's where we are for now. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll keep this updated as more information develops.